Hello everyone. One thing I really love is the snow. Every time it snows, I want to take my children out and be the first one to step on that untouched, perfect snow. But almost without fail, when we step outside, someone has already been there. We know that people have been there because we can see the evidence written clearly in the snow with boot prints left there all over the snow. And as I read John's Gospel, I'm reminded that in a similar way, God has left his footprints in history. Sometimes people say, I'd believe in God if I could see him. The claim of Christianity is this: if you lived about 2,000 years ago, you could have. Listen to what it says in the beginning of John's Gospel. It begins like this: in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God. All things were made through him, and without him was not anything made that was made. The Apostle John refers to Jesus here as the Word, and John's big message is this: Jesus is God. John says the Word was God, and later in verse 14, John writes, the Word became flesh and dwelt among us. John is telling us that God stepped into human history in the person of Jesus Christ, who John calls the Word. And just like we use words to communicate, Jesus is the Word who communicates to mankind everything we need to know about God, life, and eternity. John is saying that the Creator has come into his creation and has left his footprints in history so we can know him. But some people might say, but I don't have a time machine to go back and see Jesus, do I? But listen to what Jesus said to one of his disciples. He said, have you believed because you have seen me? Blessed are those who have not seen and yet have believed. Jesus says it's possible to believe in him and know him without seeing him. But how can we do this? Here's how. We have the blessing today of having the eyewitness accounts in the Bible of those who saw Jesus and walked with him and saw his footprints in history firsthand. God is inviting us through John's Gospel to not just see God's footprints in the past, but to come to know him personally for ourselves today. To come to know Jesus, the one John describes like this: in him was life, and the life was the light of men.